All right. Hello, beautiful community. Happy New Year. I hope you're doing amazing. I'm sending you so much good vibes, prosperity, abundance, all that your wishes desire for yourself and also for other people who are fighting right now for their collective liberation of all, for equity, for sustainable future, for the end of USA or imperialist capitalist bullshit that we no longer need. I please I recommend you guys to check out in the description below. There's my Telegram. Recently I've been updating it as well. There's evidence and stuff that I had to also do the work, as most of us are doing right now. Also over there I clarify a couple things that a lot of y'all need to be aware of. Okay, there has been 1.5 million 20 times more than last year of fake propaganda that is going to be spread, and if you don't have discernment, if you haven't been doing this work, you're gonna get trapped into that karmic weird thing. So our job here, truth tellers and people who are literally, yes, we are sacrificing everything to expose the truth to you. So sending you lots of love, and thank you so much for all those who continue to stay here. I'm honestly, I'm in that energy where like whatever needs to leave is just who wasn't serving, and it was fake. It wasn't for this community at all. So whether it's intentionally or whether it's this app doing it because it really it feels threatened by all the truth intensely that we're exposing here, also it's costing them $150 million. So I can understand that if they want to continue their atrocities that they're doing, which I still this day they still think that there's no karma for it, but we already exposed those before the year started. So go check out part 1 and part 2 if you don't want to be in that karmic situation that is going on. That dream, that channel mess, I'm still like, whoa, but it is what it is. There is a couple messages that I also I will be posting after, but we're here for a specific message, specifically for there is ascension, something between worlds. We're rebuilding in partnership, so I'm gonna tap into that. Another thing is that I had these decks I didn't know where they were. I honestly forgot where they were, and I was like, it was like a calling. Like, it never happened to me before where my decks call on me, which is crazy. So I end up finding it. It was in the bottom of my car in a bag. So these have a message, very urgent, apparently. So we're gonna tap into that. We'll see if there are messages there for this, but this one specifically was here already, so I'm gonna tap into it. But before that, I'm going to expose some videos here that we need to talk about, especially when we're learning and discerning, right? We're here to learn about the colonization. And I honestly, we were so used to say Happy New Year, but there's really nothing to be happy about, especially when there's people still like during the time where we were listening, watching fireworks. Other people were literally surviving bombs and constantly bombarded, dealing with the cold, with the weather, their families being murdered, butchered, right? Children being like literally 7 babies froze to death. And then we also have to deal with the Zionist people where they are in denial. So there's this energy of denial, okay? Denial, because they don't want to believe the truth. They don't want to, the truth is hard. But I think that's the point of the colonizers, making it, for you guys to believe that you cannot handle the truth. So this is why they commit heinous, barbaric, diabolical, satanical atrocities, not only in Palestine, but also there's stuff going on in the Congo. There's I did put a post on Instagram. Go check it out for the Congo. There is also a petition that if you can help out as well. Also what's going on in Sudan, that is, these atrocities right now, they're not silent, okay? So we need to make that clear. Please check out my TikTok on my repost, okay? I'm going to be starting being more there on TikTok. I don't think it's it's not going to be banned anymore. I don't think so, which is great, because that was literally a lot of good information can come out. And honestly, the real media right now, traditional media, it's really not good, okay? So right now, most of us, we are the media. I find myself that this is an educational purpose channel, not only for the colonization, but also to expose lies, right? So my job here is also not only to tap into the background and the spiritual sense to help people to understand what's going on in the background of what's going on in the physical realm. So this is why when Father God guides me to read the energy, it's not only for healing, and it's not only to clarification, for confirmation, for a lot of you, your intuition, because you're still novice at this, for someone who has been literally trained since I'm a child, and now I'm able to use those gifts and talents to help people, but also is what's going on in the world. Like, we've been programmed and conditioned, like indoctrinized to the point where most of the stuff that we believe has been literally propaganda and literally lies to justify really fucked up shit and atrocities, so that other people who are hoarding money, who are destroying not only humanity and our planet, can benefit from that. Also, I already proved to you guys in part 1 that their resources, their generational wealth that they have right now is siphoning everyone. Not just, I'm talking financially, I'm not talking, not just financially, there's emotional, there's psychological, there's the spiritual, massive spiritual, okay? A lot of you think these people are not spiritual. Well, let me tell you, they use spirituality, but really, really fucked up way, okay? The really dark way of spirituality. But that's our job. A lot of us who are here as alchemists and transmuters, we are supposed to be exposed in this. We're supposed to be doing this work. So this is why this is not for everybody. So this is a warning also for a lot of y'all who want to do the destiny swap. I'm just letting you know. Well, I don't have to let you know. You already know, right? You can have it. You can have the energy. Okay? But I'm just letting you know, you're not made for it. So I'm just giving you a warning. The destiny swap, it's not going to work. Either you or someone is going to. Do you understand? Okay. I'm just making it clear, because I see also today that too, it took me a while to come here, guys. I do have a baby cat, and I was waiting for the baby cat to fall asleep because he wanted to play, and I wouldn't be able to, but everything is divine timing. Everything is done, and it is. So yeah, this is my daughter's cat, so I have to wait until he falls asleep. But today he was just playing, and then these two cards he wasn't even on the table, but it fell down, I guess his tail, when he was playing with the kafia. He likes to play with the kafia. So this was under the table, okay? It was backfire in reverse, and then there's harmless in the on the side, okay? So, and then it landed, when I opened it, it's landed on rebuilding. So there's people that want you to think that rebuilding, creating a new world, a new system, that it's something that is gonna backfire on you, but it's gonna backfire on them. That's why it's in reverse, okay? It literally says, dark energy sent your way will be turned back on the sender, a failed attempt. So I feel like they're projecting to you what is already happening to them. So a lot of you, you're dealing with people in denial of the karma that they are experiencing right now, thinking that it's because of you doing something great, right? They don't want to admit to themselves, this is their biggest, ego and stuff like that they don't want to admit this. So yeah, so I'm going to show you a couple of videos that this is what Father God wants you guys to, keep in mind. Also, make sure that you are also, if you feel guided to share these content, make sure you like, comment, and share as well. Thank you so much for subscribing as well. It does help this channel. It helps the community here, also to other people to find it as well. So be the catalyst of the change that we want to see, but also the catalyst of teaching, also of educating and sharing and knowing that it's okay to care for other people. Middle East, Africa, doesn't matter where they are in the world, we are all connected. So when you press that like and you share, you are making a conscious decision, okay, to let others know that you're not okay with genocide, that you're not okay with, literally induced famine. You're not okay with using our energy for the wrong reasons, right? You're not okay with people preventing ascensions and people being, having equity, especially when we live in a world like this. 70,000 group chat of great people and how these people have done this to their sisters, their mothers, their grandmothers. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on with men who are okay with this too as well, because I feel like if this is something that you're like, about and you haven't like talked about or I feel like the list should be released, the people who have been in this chat. So I highly recommend a lot of y'all, if Telegram, push Telegram to Esposa, which I already get the confirmation that they will. So these people are scared of the shit because most of the people in this chat are actually Americans, are Canadian people who speak English. These are people of white descent, of course. Most of the time, that's what is going on. These people are, this is what we have to decolonize, because colonization is a demonic energy, right? That it's okay with rape, right? Yes, and slavery and white supremacy, racism, all the negative energy that you can think of. A lot of you think the low vibration is like not addressing those issues, especially because a lot of us, the negative energy also is being scared or exposing those things or talking about those things. But that fear comes from a very deep-rooted insecurity, and also a deep-rooted energy of these colonizers continuously trying to gaslight and bully you, a lot of y'all, and create more fear and stuff like that, because that's what they live off. They siphon fear, doubts, insecurities. Like, that's how they live off. They're cockroaches. They're parasites, right? So we have to remember this.
It's illegal to boycott Israel in 36 states in America. Government is trying to enforce requiring individuals or businesses entering into contracts with the state government to sign agreements stating that they will not boycott Israel. Although the government has the ability to regulate its contract, boycotts are still protected under the First Amendment right, freedom of speech. This is a prime example how AIPAC is influencing our laws. AIPAC is an American Israel Public Affairs Committee, which plays a huge role in the laws made in America. AIPAC has been influencing the anti-BDS laws, which is how it is now illegal to boycott Israel in America in these states. BDS is Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions, which is a Palestinian-led movement that lets you know where you are really spending your money and how these companies are using your money. For example, Amazon and Google signed Project Nimbus, a $1.2 billion contract with the Israeli government. This is why I personally use the No Thanks app to scan or search my products, and it will let you know if the company is complicit with proof. Or you can use the BDS website. Don't forget to read the Havara Agreement, H-A-A-V-A-R-A Agreement.
For Congo, same for Sudan. Anytime we see these posts, Americans, we have a different duty. We have a different duty. It is our job to be the new media. We create our own media force as the American people. I don't know who needs to see this, but if you're not talking about Palestine, something's going on, bruh. Because we should all be talking about Palestine. There's no way that we can watch these people being bombed, these people being assaulted brutally, these doctors being killed, journalists being killed, children being frozen to death because they have no blankets, no jacket. No, we cannot just look past that, y'all. Like, it has to come to a point where we as humans ask ourselves, what makes me human? Because if it's just going with the flow and pretending everything's okay, no, that's what makes you a robot. That's what makes you controlled. That's what makes you not human. What makes us human is having connections with others, especially when they're in need of love, when they're in need, and not even love. These are basic human rights. Basic. Palestinians are living in fear. Your work stress is a fucking drop in the bucket of what these Palestinians are dealing with. They are dealing with literal, brutal, violent terrorism, genocide, and pure evilness. So yes, I need people to freaking talk about it. I need people, if you see someone sharing something about Palestine, you share that. If a Palestinian is reaching out to you, if all you can do is share their GoFundMe, share their posts. That's what we need. We need people that are committed to helping other humans.
The revolution will not be televised, but if it was, this is your 2024 news recap. Earlier this year, 11 people were arrested after peacefully protesting United Healthcare's systematic denial of claims. Then in December, United Healthcare's CEO was shot and killed. Now, lawmakers are introducing legislation to break up healthcare monopolies. This year, protesters met at the state houses of 30 different states to fight the systemic injustices that disproportionately affect the working class. We also saw relentless protesting demanding a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. The protests spread to all 50 states, and colleges across the U.S. set up encampments to demand their universities divest from Israel. Climate activists shut down numerous events held by billionaires, executives, and our congressional representatives, demanding an end to fossil fuels. And as a result, more than $1 billion is pulled out of fossil fuel funding. Unions and strikes are on the rise across industries. Here are some of the most notable from this year. 47,000 dock workers went on strike from Maine to Texas, and it only took 2 days before workers were offered a 62% wage increase. 33,000 Boeing employees went on strike and received a 32% wage increase and enhanced 401ks. 17,000 AT&T employees went on strike and received a 20% wage increase. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more that they have not shown you that I couldn't fit in this video. But right now, fighting back against wealth inequality, climate change, and genocide is a global phenomenon.
A slightly heavier built girl.
Okay.
And actually, what happened was we broke up when she was in final year, and no, wait a minute, when we were going out.
Yeah.
She still going out. I didn't get her parents, by the way, were very fanatical in favor of apartheid. This is quite interesting. Her parents came to South Africa from Canada because they sympathized with the Afrikaner government.
Okay.
They used to support Hitler and all that sort of stuff. But they didn't know, obviously, I don't think they knew what the Nazis were doing. But they in Canada, they were in the German party in Canada, and they sympathized with the Germans.
Yeah.
So when the Afrikaners government came into power here in 1948, then May's father, who was quite an interesting guy, he was a very good pilot, he said he wants to be with the Afrikaners because he agrees with apartheid, you see. You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And he came out here with his family.
And didn't that cause tension with you? Because you don't.
Yeah, that caused a lot of tension with me. And because I was a director of NUSAS, which was a National Union of South African Students, which was a very anti-apartheid body, you know. And I argued with them a lot. And they used to tell me, they used to be like rude to me, you know, and the parents. And then when May was in her final year, around about that time, I said, look, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to come to your house anymore. I don't like your parents.
Gee.
You see? Really? So then she cried. She said, but don't worry about them. I said, no, I'm finished. I'm not interested in this nonsense. And her parents even said they're going to get somebody else to go out with her. They don't even want me to go out with her, you know. Things like that. You know, typical. Typical, you know. It's quite normal. You're getting that everywhere. Anyway, so then May cried. She cried for 3 weeks, she told me. I was told she didn't stop crying for 3 weeks. But then she lost all her weight. And she became very thin from crying. Didn't eat. And then...
I'm sorry to break it to you, but a conservative is not a real thing. The right, someone who's leaning right, the far right, is not a real thing. What you are seeing in front of you is a white supremacist. Remember the KKK? People in the white hoods? You know that we got people living, breathing today that can tell the story of the tyranny of the KKK? Remember Jim Crow laws? Remember how they used to depict us on the news? Remember the firefighters that used to let us burn alive in buildings? If we have people, our people, still alive to tell that story, where do you think the perpetrators from these stories went? Conservative. What exactly are these people conserving? This is American history. Go back to the Civil War. Who fought in the Civil War? The Union and the Confederacy. Please tell me what the Union believed in, and please tell me what the Confederacy believed in, and please tell me if left and right are good ways to describe those ideologies. Please tell me if a Nazi walked in your country and told you the things that white people say they want to do to us. Please tell me if you would describe that Nazi as right-leaning. Right-leaning. One of the best rebrands in U.S. history is white supremacists, imperialists, colonialists, rebranding as this right oppositional political ideology. Because in reality, politics discusses things like development, GDP, economy, families, structure. This country has convinced you that their hatred for your existence is a political ideology. And you believe them. And you act like there's anything political, anything intellectual, anything logistic about their arguments and their worldview. I'll simplify for everybody. There is no political debate for somebody who doesn't believe that you don't have the right to exist. On top of that, you think the left wants anything better for you either? This is the same left that won't even look you in your eyes and address to you what this country has done to you. Because when you're in the room, you're just American and everyone's colorblind. But as soon as you leave the room, you're a dirty black immigrant, whether you black American or not. And again, a country that has ever even needed to create a distinction between an American and a black American is telling you exactly how they feel about you. There is no left-right split in this country. It is white supremacy, colonialism, imperialism, class. And on top of that, you don't need to be white to be a white supremacist. Some of y'all are as dark as me and share these same sentiments. You gotta think big, because before we are fighting groups and people, we are fighting systems and power dynamics. And until you understand that, you will never understand what is going on in American politics. Peace out.
Happy New Year, folks. This is your New Year's reminder that the Israeli regime is going to up their spending on Hasbara propaganda by $150 million on top of the money that they already spend on it. So all you guys who like to tussle with me in YouTube Live or in the comments of my videos and say that media messaging doesn't matter, that videos and podcasts and influencers and all that kind of shit doesn't matter, get the fuck out of here. If you want to be on the losing side of the messaging info wars, then that's your choice. But the facts are the facts, Jack, and the facts are that they're spending this kind of money because they understand that it does work. They understand that we are in an information war. That is literally the basis of how all of these things are decided. And they understand this just like the right wing understands this, and they are spending their money accordingly. They announced a dramatic expansion to its Hasbara campaign in operations in their 2025 budget. The foreign ministry will receive an additional $150 million on top of its existing budget, marking a staggering 20-fold increase in funding for conscious warfare activities compared to the previous year. What do you think conscious warfare means? I need the left and the humanitarians and anti-genocide folks to wake the fuck up and realize that we have been in an information war and that this shit matters. And that in many ways, the Israeli regime has been losing that information war, and that's why they're upping their spending. Massive increases aimed at reshaping international opinion through aggressive propaganda campaigns targeting American college campuses, social media platforms, and the foreign press. The effort will be coordinated with the American Jewish organizations and the Diaspora Affairs Ministry. And then Dropsite posted a video of an example of them doing just this in regards to a hospital in northern Gaza. Guys, I feel like that sometimes like humanists and people on the left and people who are anti-genocide, who are well-meaning, are like outdated in your thinking. Like you're like, no. Media and propaganda is not that important. Messaging is not that important. What's important is just going outside and marching. And listen, I would never diminish marching and protesting. I'm going to a protest today. But we live in 2025 where information is everything. Propaganda is everything. Media warfare is everything. Data mining is everything. They understand that, which is why they're fixing to spend a ton more money on their bullshit and lying. Now they have the money. They have the money to spread all this propaganda and lie and buy our politicians and buy people on the college campuses to try to shut the students down and pay, full of shit phony influencers on TikTok to lie for them. But we have the truth and we have the numbers. So I'm gonna need my fellows to wake up to this reality and start acting accordingly.
Because of this news over here, this $150 million extra dollars that they're going to spend on propaganda, that is all because of you, baby. You, your likes, your comments, your shares. all of the stuff that the people around you told you was useless, that is costing them an extra $150 million on top of what they already spent on it. Which means that in a year, you undid decades of propaganda, of weaponization of historical events, of films, of books, of a whole establishment of media that was friendly and supine to the genocidal ethnostate. All of that you may disappear by just pressing buttons, by holding on to this community. Because turns out, we are not an echo chamber. What we do and what we say here has effects in the real world, in tourism, in reputation, in pressure on companies to not do business with them. And if you think that after all of the expenses that they've already had, they're going to be able to afford this easily, they will not. So I will see you here next year with the same energy. I'm gonna finish this year in a nice...
The New York Times is reporting that the suspect who plowed through crowds in New Orleans today, killing at least 15 people, was carrying an ISIS flag, and that the international terrorist group may have played a role in the attack. Reuters is reporting that this man, the suspect, Shamsuddin Jabbar, quote, may have had help. Well, what kind of help could we be talking about? Could it have been an elaborately orchestrated FBI sting, where the FBI provided all the necessary tools, the weapons, the bomb, maybe some money? Could it have been an entrapment operation gone wrong? The FBI would never prey on vulnerable people by luring them into fake terror plots. No way could undercover FBI agents help an autistic teen plan a trip to join ISIS. The US government would never spend $500 million creating fake Al-Qaeda propaganda videos. Would the FBI have created an actual terrorist? I'm obviously kind of half joking a little bit, but the fact that I can semi-legitimately ask these questions with receipts tells you everything that's wrong with the current state of the FBI and the US government.
Wake up. Seriously, wake up for a second. Think about this. Do you guys really believe that ISIS sent a terrorist to New Orleans to run over what seems to be predominantly people of color? And this person who spent 10 years of his life in the military, working for the military, has just miraculously became ISIS out of nowhere? The deception is real. The deception is real. And the worst part of it all is it's getting more coverage in 24 hours than the tens of thousands of innocent children from Gaza. This is the reality we're living in. Wake up, do not be sheep, do not fall for this deception. This is not conspiracy theories. This is real life. And they're trying to trick us into believing this. Do not fall for it. Beware of the ones that are trying to deceive us.
So that was weird. So someone's going around asking to donate. She's selling chocolate to donate to the people typhoon in the Philippines. I think it's a very nice way, but her energy speaks of very weird energy. Especially she thought that I was like Muslim, so she's like Salam Alaikum, and I was like, oh, that's cool, but why? Because I'm just cold. I'm just wearing my hat because I'm cold. But anyways, that's beautiful for those who, you know, are seeking to donate people. If you hear the knock, that's her. Like, she's knocking on every house to asking people to buy some chocolate so she can use the money to donate for what's going on in the Philippines, like the typhoons and stuff like that. See? You can, your spare time, you can do whatever it is. Everybody has their role and their way of how to help other people, caring and doing what they have to do. Okay, and knowing my Philippines people, they will make it happen. Okay, so also their energy is always sustainability, so that's like amazing. They always not constantly like, you know, they always preserving or trying to less you know, and save, and yeah. So I don't know, I feel like saying that, but it's the truth. That too was a Philippine friend who gave me this, so you know what it is.
So this comment is on a post where we're discussing how homelessness increased by double digits. And all of the solidarity that all of us are having since the insurance adjuster did what he did over healthcare. I have a lot of new followers from both sides of the aisle because I talk often about why we need to work together. If you're not interested in doing that, this page isn't for you. But I'm going to talk about Israel, and I want you to stay. I want you to stay. Don't run away. I'm going to get you on our side by the end of this video and leave politics out of it. So a lot of times people who don't really pay attention to the pro-Palestine crowd and just call us terrorists and say that we don't care about anything happening in the United States, they are grossly misinformed. It is a direct correlation to how things are going here in the US and how much money we send to Israel, who has free healthcare and free education. One, you obviously think to yourself, oh, that would be nice. But you're probably asking, Angie, why should I give a fuck about that? Good for them. In total, the United States spent $17.9 billion on military aid to Israel from October 2023 to October 2024, a record for a single year. In total, since Israel has existed, we have sent over $300 billion to them. Now, the first thing that a Zionist will tell you, or an Israeli, they'll say, you're not giving us that money for our healthcare or education. It's for military because we're allies. We don't only fund the military. We also send them money for medical research. They are one of the leading places for medical research. They have some of the most advanced technologies in medicine. We literally fund that too. The amount of money we give them for agriculture research, for medical research, for their army that they don't have to spend means that they can turn around and now provide their citizens with these types of things. You get it? Imagine someone was funding our military spending, how much money we would have to now go towards its own citizens. The US spent approximately $820 billion on its military in 2023. Do you know that could solve all our issues, that amount of money? Point blank period. Homelessness, healthcare crisis, it could solve all our problems. And before any party tries to be morally superior to each other, we reached historic amounts of money sent to Israel, and both sides of the aisle served during this time period. Now, are there other places that we can also save money? Absolutely. I'm not ignorant to that. This is another country. They are the largest recipient of money from us. And if I'm being honest, for being one of the most funded militaries aside from the US, they are grossly incompetent. It has taken a year and a half for them to fight a non-military resistance group when they have some of the most sophisticated military weapons. Like, be so fucking for real. You might ask, how does this happen? Well, if you're interested, I can do a series and introduce you to our friend AIPAC. But just know, once you open the box, you can't go back. Let me know in the comments. No judgment. So yes, class solidarity, hell yeah. Fighting for healthcare for all, hell yeah. Fighting the top, the 1%, hell yeah. But also, you need to understand our relationship with Israel because it ties into so much and correlates to so much. If, genocide is not good enough reason.
The first few months of 2025 will see the release of two blockbuster Disney films that the Palestinian-led BDS movement has called for a boycott of. The first, in February, is Marvel's Captain America: Brave New World. The film will revive the racist anti-Palestinian character Sabra, which is the alter ego of Mossad agent 𝓂𝆃Prt. Sabra is the personification of apartheid Israel, all the way down to her outfit. And through her, Israel's occupation and dispossession of Palestinians are glorified as heroic. The second film to be released in March is the live-action remake of Snow White. The film stars the Israeli Zionist propagandist Gal Gadot in the role of Evil Queen. Gadot has for years publicly supported the Israeli military as it carries out its atrocities against Palestinians and has continued to do so during the ongoing genocide in Gaza, helping organize screenings of an Israeli military propaganda film. Now, two things are important to note here. The first is that BDS targets complicity, not identity. Gadot's films are not being targeted simply because of her nationality, but because she has chosen to act as a cultural ambassador for Israel's apartheid regime, therefore representing it. The second is that Rachel Zegler, who plays Snow White, has publicly supported Palestine, something that the BDS movement has acknowledged and deeply appreciates. However, this is not enough to undo the harm of Gal Gadot's involvement in the film. Taken together, these films have cost well over $500 million to make, which means that a successful boycott would be disastrous for Disney. So boycott them, help spread the word, and cancel your Disney Plus subscription while you're at it. May 2025 be a great year for cinema and a terrible year for complicity with apartheid, occupation, and genocide.
When the truth comes out, when the truth comes out, you can run but you know it's ending. At the bottom of the grave you're digging now.
Anyway, so delays are good. This is why I can't finish the video, because he wants to play with a little kafia or go under me or something like that. So yeah, also there's multiple things that have happened, so I'm grateful for delays at this point. I know he keeps saying, and it's so funny, like I'm flipping up the text and look what it says. At the bottom of the text it says, sharpen your will and persevere. It will not cause any long-term negative consequences. Disruption, delays, interference. Okay, so it's divinely guided. This is Tico. Hi. Say hi. Hi. So yeah, I'll come back when this one goes to sleep. So if you see me back, it's because, yeah.
If you're feeling burned out and helpless right now,
that's completely normal, and I understand. You feel so devastated that sometimes you wonder how you're going to continue. But you know that if you quit fighting, you're not going to be able to live with yourself, and that's what makes you a critical warrior in this fight.
there are not enough people like you in the country or even in the world. And I know it seems like there are because we're in an echo chamber, but there aren't.
You are exactly who the oppressors are targeting. They would love to see you fall.
The fact that you care about this so deeply is what's going to lead us to victory, and that's why they want to see you fall, and that's why you can't stop.
Your wheels are constantly turning, and you're thinking outside the box.
You're brainstorming, you're adapting, you're evolving, and then you're seeing what you can do differently that can push the needle further into progress for this movement.
If you're feeling burned out, rest, recharge, repower. Reflect over all the things you did this past year. What had the best impact?
What made you feel like you were making the difference that destiny had in store for you? Step back into that role, a role in the real world with real people in real life, not on social media.
There are a lot of opportunities off social media that we are not taking.
What are we doing to engage new people and expand our movement?
Maybe you were meant to organize direct actions at weapons manufacturers.
Maybe you're meant to speak out and spread the word as a healthcare worker.
Maybe you were meant to become a journalist or a podcaster or join some type of media team.
Maybe you're meant to run for office with a third party.
We don't know where your place is at. You don't know where your place is at. Only you can find that.
Just keep experimenting and keep going.
Whatever role you're willing to take on, you need to take on. If you're watching this video and you think this is important, you are important.
You are a leader, whether you realize it or not.
And it's time to realize it.